The cameras were rolling, the room was quiet, and then, out of nowhere, all hell broke loose. Chantel, usually the one trying to keep her composure, was seen screaming at Jackie in a way no one on set had ever witnessed before. And the reason? Whispers claim that Chantel's secret boyfriend, the one she'd been keeping under wraps for months, might have been spending a little too much time with Jackie behind the scenes. The tension was electric. Crew members froze, castmates stared in shock, and even the producers were scrambling, unsure of whether to cut the cameras or let the chaos unfold. But by then, it was too late. Words had been exchanged. Accusations were flying. And Chantal made it crystal clear that she was done staying silent. Fans online are already in a frenzy, dissecting every clip and trying to piece together what led to this fiery confrontation. Is Jackie really guilty of crossing that line? Or is this just another case of rumors getting out of control? One thing's for sure, the fallout from this blow-up is about to change everything, and the drama has only just begun. The energy on set that day was unlike anything anyone had ever felt before. It started quietly, just like any other shoot. Jackie was in her usual confident mood, laughing with the crew and chatting with a few of the other women, while Chantal kept mostly to herself, scrolling through her phone and sipping on her coffee. But those who were paying close attention could feel the tension creeping in, like a storm building silently in the distance. The whispers had already started to spread. Something about Chantel's boyfriend and Jackie being seen together outside a downtown restaurant late one night. At first, no one wanted to believe it. After all, Jackie had her own drama to deal with and didn't need another scandal attached to her name. But as the chatter grew louder, even the cast began to question what was really going on. The real trigger came when a producer innocently mentioned the boyfriend's name during a casual conversation. Chantel froze, her eyes narrowing as if she had just pieced something together. The cameras were rolling, the lights were blinding, and before anyone could blink, Chantel was on her feet, her voice slicing through the air like a knife. She stormed toward Jackie, her face flushed with anger, while the crew scrambled to keep up, making sure every second of the chaos was caught on tape. "You think you're slick, don't you, Jackie?" Chantal shouted, her voice trembling with a mix of rage and heartbreak. "You think I wouldn't find out? You think you could just sneak around behind my back and no one would ever say anything?" The room fell silent, except for the sound of Chantel's breathing, heavy and sharp. Jackie, caught completely off guard, looked stunned but quickly tried to regain her composure. She brushed her hair over her shoulder, giving a small laugh that only fueled Chantel's fury even more. "What are you even talking about?" Jackie said, her tone laced with fake calmness, though her eyes betrayed a flicker of guilt. "You sound crazy right now. Maybe you should take a breath before you embarrass yourself." Those words were like gasoline on fire. Chantal lunged forward, pointing her finger inches from Jackie's face. "Don't you dare try to play me," she snapped. "Everyone knows what you did. Everyone's been talking about it, Jackie. You took the one person I trusted, the one person who was supposed to be mine, and you went behind my back like it meant nothing." Gasps filled the room as the rest of the cast exchanged shocked glances. Brandy whispered something under her breath. Ty covered her mouth in disbelief. And even Evelyn, who usually thrived on other people's mess, looked momentarily stunned. The cameras zoomed in, capturing every tear threatening to spill from Chantel's eyes, every flicker of emotion crossing Jackie's face. Jackie, never one to back down from a confrontation, took a step closer, her voice dropping to a cold, sharp tone. "First of all, Chantal, don't act like you have some perfect little love story going on. You know better than anyone that he was never yours to begin with. So don't come at me acting like I stole something. Maybe you should take a hard look at your relationship before pointing fingers at me." The air was thick with tension, so heavy that even the producers couldn't cut through it. Chantel's hands trembled as she clenched her fists, trying to hold back a flood of emotions. "You know what hurts the most?" she said softly, her voice cracking in a way that silenced even the whispers in the room. "It's not even about him, it's about you. I trusted you, Jackie. I defended you when nobody else would. And this is how you repay me, by sneaking around and humiliating me like this." For a moment, Jackie's confident facade faltered. Her eyes shifted, her mouth opened as if to respond, but no words came out. The room was silent except for Chantel's quiet sobs and the faint hum of the cameras still recording every second of the drama. Then, as if trying to regain control of the situation, Jackie crossed her arms and rolled her eyes. "Believe whatever you want to believe, Chantal," she said, her tone icy. "But don't put your insecurities on me. I don't owe you anything." That was the breaking point. Chantel let out a bitter laugh, shaking her head as tears streamed down her face. "You know what, Jackie?" Shay said, her voice trembling, but filled with conviction. "You've shown me exactly who you are, and trust me, the whole world is about to see it too." Within minutes, the story began spreading like wildfire. Snippets of the confrontation leaked online, with fans dissecting every word, every glance, every micro-expression between the two women. Some were quick to defend Chantal, calling her brave for standing up for herself in such a public way, while others sided with Jackie, claiming that Chantal was overreacting and letting her emotions cloud her judgment. Hashtags with their names trended across social media platforms. Gossip blogs lit up with headlines that only added fuel to the fire. Behind the scenes, the cast was reeling. Ty, always the peacemaker, tried to calm Chantel down after the cameras stopped rolling, but Chantel was inconsolable. "You don't understand," she said, her voice still raw from shouting. "It's not just about him. It's about the betrayal. I can handle heartbreak, but betrayal. From her, that's a whole different level of pain." Brandy, meanwhile, wasted no time in stirring the pot, whispering to anyone who would listen that she'd seen this coming for weeks. "Jackie can't stand to see anyone happy unless she's the center of attention," she told producers off camera. She knew exactly what she was doing, and Jackie. She kept her distance, refusing to address the situation publicly, but making subtle comments in her confessionals that only deepened the divide. "I'm not here to play the victim," she said with a sly smile. "People are going to believe whatever narrative they want to believe, and that's fine. Truth, and that's all that matters." But even as she said the words, there was an uneasiness in her eyes, a flicker of something that hinted at guilt or maybe fear, awe of what was coming next. As the hours turned into days, the fallout only intensified. Producers were flooded with calls and messages from fans demanding answers, demanding to know the truth about Jackie and Chantel's boyfriend. And while no one had solid proof yet, the speculation alone was enough to keep the drama alive. With every new rumor adding another layer to an already explosive situation, the days that followed were nothing short of chaos. Both on and off the set, fans were glued to every update, every blurry paparazzi photo, and every cryptic post from the cast. Social media had turned into a battlefield, with Team Chantel and Team Jackie arguing endlessly about who was right and who was lying, while Chantal stayed mostly quiet online, only posting a black screen with the words "loyalty" is everything written in small white letters. Jackie, as always, couldn't resist the urge to stir the pot. Her stories were full of glamorous selfies, dinner outings, and one particularly bold caption that read, "Unbothered queens don't explain themselves." The internet, of course, went wild, dissecting every word for hidden meaning. But the real drama was happening behind the cameras. Producers knew they had struck gold with this storyline, and they weren't about to let it die down. They pushed for another group shoot, this time at a high-end lounge downtown, hoping the tense atmosphere would deliver more explosive moments. And they weren't wrong. From the moment Chantal walked in, wearing a sleek black dress and her expression like stone, it was clear that the evening was going to be anything but calm. Jackie was already there, sitting in a corner booth with her usual confident smile, sipping on a martini like nothing in the world could shake her. As soon as their eyes met, the entire room went silent. You could almost feel everyone holding their breath, waiting for the first spark to fly. Chantel didn't waste any time. She walked straight toward Jackie, her heels clicking sharply against the polished floor. "You think this is funny, don't you?" she said, her voice low, but laced with venom. "Posting all your little pictures, acting like you didn't just blow up my entire life." Jackie, unflinching, took another slow sip of her drink before responding. "What's funny is how you're still trying to make this about you," she said calmly, her tone dripping with condescension. "Maybe if you actually knew what was going on, you wouldn't be out here embarrassing yourself. Those words hit Chantal like a slap. Her eyes widened, her hands clenched into fists at her sides, but she managed to keep her voice steady. "Embarrassing myself? The only one embarrassing themselves here is you, Jackie. You talk about loyalty and sisterhood all the time, but the second you see something you want, you take it, no matter who gets hurt." Brandy, sitting at the next table, leaned in with a grin, whispering to Ty, "This is about to get real good." Ty, however, wasn't amused. "This isn't entertainment, Brandy," she muttered. "This is two women tearing each other apart. And for what? Some man who probably isn't even worth all this." But the tension was too high for anyone to intervene. Jackie leaned forward, resting her elbows on the table, and gave Chantal a look that could cut glass. "You think you know everything, but you don't," she said. "If you really want answers, maybe you should be talking to your so-called boyfriend instead of coming after me." That was the moment Chantal broke. Her voice rose, shaking with anger and heartbreak. "Don't you dare put this on him," she shouted, her words echoing through the lounge. "You're the one who crossed the line. You're the one who betrayed me, not him. You were supposed to be my friend, Jackie. My friend." The room erupted in gasps as tears welled up in Chantel's eyes. For the first time, Jackie's confident demeanor cracked just a little, her gaze dropping to her drink. But before anyone could process the shift, Brandy jumped in, unable to resist the chance to throw fuel on the fire. "Honestly," she said, loudly, "I think everyone already knows the truth. It's just a matter of who's brave enough to say it out loud." That set off another round of shouting, with Chantal demanding answers and Jackie insisting that people were twisting the story to make her look bad. The producers, sensing another golden moment, kept the cameras rolling, capturing every tear, every glare, every trembling word. And somewhere in the chaos, the boyfriend at the center of it all started trending on social media. His name plastered across gossip blogs and entertainment sites as people dug into his past, trying to piece together the timeline of events. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, Ty tried to comfort Chantal, pulling her aside into a quiet corner once the shouting had died down. "Listen," Ty said gently, placing a hand on her shoulder. "I know this feels like the end of the world right now, but you can't let this destroy you. You're stronger than this." But Chantal was inconsolable, her voice breaking as she whispered, "It's not even about him anymore. It's about her. I defended her to everyone. I thought she had my back. And now I don't even know who she is." Jackie, on the other hand, retreated into her usual bubble of denial, telling anyone who would listen that the whole situation was being blown out of proportion. "People love to paint me as the villain," she said during a confessional later. That night, her tone icy, but her eyes betraying a flicker of unease. "But I've learned that no matter what you do, people are going to believe what they want. So let them talk. I know my truth." As the episode aired, the audience reaction was explosive. Fans flooded the comments, some praising Chantal for finally standing up for herself, while others accused her of playing the victim. Hashtags with their names once again topped the trending lists. And even celebrities started weighing in, sharing cryptic posts that only fueled the speculation. The divide was clear. Half the world saw Jackie as the ultimate betrayer, while the other half thought Chantal was overreacting and needed to move on. The drama only intensified when a grainy video surfaced online showing what appeared to be Jackie and the boyfriend together at a private dinner just days before the confrontation. The clip, though blurry and without audio, was enough to reignite the frenzy, with fans analyzing every frame, convinced they had found the proof Chantal had been looking for. Gossip blogs had a field day, running headline after headline about the forbidden romance, and producers, sensing another opportunity, teased an upcoming special episode promising to reveal the truth that will change everything. Through it all, Chantal tried to maintain some semblance of dignity, but the cracks were starting to show. She stopped showing up to certain events, avoided group outings, and even unfollowed several cast members on social media, a move that fans immediately noticed and dissected. In private, she confided to Ty that she didn't know if she could keep filming, that every time she walked onto the set, she felt like everyone was whispering behind her back. But the one person she avoided entirely was Jackie. Not a word, not a glance, nothing. And that silence spoke volumes, becoming its own storyline as viewers speculated about whether the two women would ever reconcile or if the rift between them was simply too deep to mend. The tension between Chantal and Jackie reached a breaking point that no one saw coming. Days turned into weeks, but the wound kept festering, with neither woman backing down. The producers, sensing the pressure building, arranged another mandatory event, a charity gala meant to show unity among the cast. But everyone knew it was just another opportunity for fireworks. On the night of the event, the energy was electric. Cameras captured every moment as the women arrived one by one, their outfits screaming confidence, but their eyes betraying the storm within. Chantal entered first, draped in a white gown that glittered under the lights, her chin lifted high even though her heart felt heavy. Fans later described her look as angelic but ready for war. Minutes later, Jackie walked in, her emerald green dress hugging every curve, paired with a smile that dared anyone to challenge her. The moment their eyes met, the room shifted. Conversations stalled, glasses froze midair, and all eyes turned toward the two women whose feud had consumed the internet for weeks. For a moment, no one moved. Then, as if drawn by some invisible force, Chantal began to walk across the room, her heels clicking with purpose. "We need to talk," Chantal said when she reached Jackie, her voice calm but edged with steel. The cameras caught every word, every flinch, every twitch of their lips. Jackie tilted her head, giving a dismissive laugh. "About what? I think you've said enough, don't you?" Chantal shot back, her voice rising slightly. "I haven't, because you still haven't admitted what you did. You still think you can just walk around like none of this happened? Like you didn't stab me in the back?" The crowd around them tightened, phones discreetly recording whispers, spreading like wildfire. Ty, standing a few feet away, exchanged a worried look with Brandy. "This is about to get ugly," Ty murmured, but neither of them dared to step in. Jackie's single quotes X expression hardened. "Stab you in the back? You really want to do this here, in front of everyone?" Chantal didn't flinch. "Why not? Everyone's been talking about it anyway. Let's just lay it all out." The room fell into stunned silence as Chantal took a deep breath, her hands trembling slightly as she tried to steady herself. "You knew," she said, her voice breaking. "You knew how much I cared about him. You knew what we had and you didn't care. You went behind my back and took something that wasn't yours." For a split second, something flashed across Jackie's face, regret, guilt, maybe even shame, but it vanished as quickly as it appeared, replaced by her usual mask of confidence. "You keep acting like I stole something from you," she said slowly. "But maybe you should be asking yourself why he didn't choose you. Maybe that says more than you want to admit." The words hung in the air like a dagger, slicing through the last threads of restraint Chantal had been holding on to. Her eyes filled with tears, her voice shaking as she whispered, "How could you say that? After everything? How could you?" Gasps rippled through the room as Chantal turned on her heel and walked away, her gown trailing behind her like a wounded soldier retreating from battle. The cameras followed her, capturing the raw emotion etched across her face as she disappeared. Into the hallway, back inside, Jackie tried to maintain her composure, but the damage was done. The room buzzed with whispers, phones pinged with notifications, and social media exploded with clips of the confrontation before the night was even over. Hashtags like Team Chantel and Team Jackie trended for hours, with fans dissecting every frame of the footage, every word, every look. The aftermath of the gala was even messier. Interviews with the cast surfaced, each woman offering her own perspective. Ty, ever the peacemaker, told a reporter, "I just wish they'd both take a step back and remember what they mean to each other. This isn't just about a man anymore. This is about trust, and once that's broken, it's hard to fix." Brandy, on the other hand, couldn't resist stirring the pot. "Look," she said during a radio interview, "I love both of them, but let's be real. This isn't just Jackie's fault. Nobody forced that man to do anything." Everyone keeps painting Chantal as this helpless victim, but relationships are complicated. People forget that. Those comments only added fuel to the fire, with fans accusing Brandy of being insensitive and taking sides. She clapped back on social media, insisting that she was just keeping it real. But the damage to her friendship with Chantal was undeniable. As the days went on, Chantal retreated further from the public eye. She canceled appearances, ignored calls from producers, and even skipped filming for a week, sending the production schedule into chaos. Privately, sources claimed she was heartbroken and questioning whether she could even stay on the show. Meanwhile, Jackie doubled down, posting cryptic captions like "Truth always wins" and "Unbothered energy only," which only enraged Chantal's supporters even more. Gossip blogs speculated that Jackie was intentionally baiting her, trying to keep her off balance, but others argued that she was simply trying to reclaim her narrative. Then came the twist no one saw coming. A leaked text thread surfaced online, allegedly between Jackie and the boyfriend at the center of the drama. The messages, though unverified, painted a picture of a long-standing connection that predated Chantel's relationship with Flirtatious. Exchanges and references to secret meetings. Fans went wild, flooding comment sections with theories and accusations. Some claimed the texts proved that Chantal had been in the dark from the start, while others suggested the messages were fabricated to make Jackie look bad. Either way, the leak reignited the drama just as the flames were starting to die down. Behind the scenes, the producers were thrilled. They saw the perfect opportunity to orchestrate a sit-down between Chantal and Jackie, hoping to capture the ultimate confrontation. But getting Chantal to agree was no easy task. According to insiders, she resisted for days, insisting that she was done with the circus. But eventually, after much persuasion and a rumored promise of a significant paycheck, she agreed. As the day of the sit-down approached, the entire cast was on edge. Everyone knew this wasn't just another scene. This was going to be the moment that either mended the fracture or shattered it beyond repair. Even Ty admitted in a confessional, "I'm scared for them, because once certain things are said, you can't take them back. And I don't know if they're ready for that." When the cameras rolled, the tension was palpable. Chantal sat on one side of the room, her arms crossed tightly, while Jackie lounged on the opposite couch, her expression unreadable. For a moment, neither of them spoke, the silence stretching unbearably as producers and castmates watched from the sidelines. Bracing for impact, the silence in the room was suffocating, thick with unspoken words and memories of everything that had led them here. Chantal's jaw tightened as she stared down at her hands, her nails digging into her palms to keep herself grounded. Jackie, on the other hand, looked almost too calm, as if she had rehearsed her composure for this exact moment. But her eyes betrayed her. They darted nervously every time Chantal's gaze threatened to meet hers. Finally, it was Chantal who broke. The silence, her voice steady but laced with pain. "Why, Jackie? Tell me why. Was it worth it? Was he worth it? Because you didn't just take some guy from me. You took my trust, my sense of safety. Everything I thought we had is bad. As family." Jackie's lips parted, but no words came out. The camera zoomed in on her face, capturing the rare moment where her confidence faltered. She cleared her throat and said softly, "It wasn't supposed to happen like that. I never wanted to hurt you, Chantal. Swear, I didn't. But feelings, they don't always make sense." Chantal laughed bitterly, a sound that sent chills through the room. "Feelings? That's what you're calling it? Betrayal feels a lot like feelings to you, huh? You know what it felt like to me? Humiliation. Every time I walked into a room, every time someone looked at me with pity because they knew before I did. You let me live in that lie, Jackie, and you smiled in my face while you did it." Jackie's hands trembled in her lap, but she lifted her chin and tried to steady her voice. "You think I'm proud of what happened? Do you think I don't replay it in my head every night, wondering how I could have done things differently? I made a mistake, Chantal, a huge one. But he came too. Me first. He said you two were done, that you were moving on. I believed him. I thought, don't?" Chantal cut her off sharply, her eyes flashing with anger. "Don't you dare put this on him. You're the one who was supposed to have my back. You're the one who was supposed to look out for me. Instead, you looked out for yourself. Then you didn't care who you destroyed in the process." The tension was unbearable, every word slicing deeper into the wound. Even the crew, usually desensitized to the chaos, shifted uncomfortably behind the cameras. Ty sat in the corner, tears brimming in her eyes as she whispered, "This is breaking my heart." Jackie inhaled sharply, blinking back her own tears. "I cared, Chantal. I cared about you more than you'll ever know, but somewhere along the way, I lost myself. And I don't know how to make it right. I don't even know if I can." The room went quiet again, the weight of her confession hanging in the air like a storm cloud. Chantal's face softened for just a moment, the anger giving way to something that looked almost like grief. But just as quickly, she hardened again, shaking her head. "You want to make it right? Then stay out of my life," she said, her voice low but resolute. "You took something from me that you can never give back. So the least you can do is let me heal without you in the way." Jackie flinched as if she'd been struck, her composure finally cracking as tears welled in her eyes. "If that's what you want," she whispered, her voice breaking the producers. Sensing the raw emotion of the moment, signaled to keep the cameras rolling, but no one dared to speak. The silence stretched until Chantal stood, her movements slow but deliberate. She walked past Jackie without another word, her heels clicking against the floor like punctuation marks on a painful chapter. Once she was gone, the room erupted in hushed whispers. Ty rushed to Jackie's side, wrapping her in a comforting embrace as Jackie finally let the tears fall. "I didn't mean for any of this." Jackie sobbed, her voice muffled against Ty's shoulder. I just wanted to be loved." Outside, Chantal sat in her car, her hands gripping the steering wheel as tears streamed down her face. She didn't notice the cameras still rolling from a distance, capturing her raw, unfiltered pain. In that moment, she wasn't thinking about the show, the fans, or the headlines. She was just a woman who had been broken by someone she trusted more than anyone. Social media exploded the moment the episode aired. Fans flooded timelines with clips of the sit-down, debating every word, every expression, every shift in tone. Hashtags like "Chantal deserves better" and "Jackie's apology flop" dominated trending lists for days. Podcasts dissected the confrontation. Experts weighed in on betrayal and forgiveness. And even celebrities chimed in, choosing sides and fanning the flames of the drama. But behind the noise, behind the hashtags and the endless opinions to women, we're left picking up the pieces of a friendship that had been shattered beyond recognition. Chantel retreated even further into her private world, avoiding cameras and appearances while Jackie tried to rebuild her image. Posting motivational quotes and photos of her family to remind people that she was more than the villain she had been painted as. Then, just when the dust seemed to be settling, another twist sent shockwaves through the fan base. Leaked audio surfaced, allegedly of a heated phone call between the boyfriend at the center of it all and one of his friends. In the clip, the boyfriend allegedly admitted that he had pursued Jackie deliberately, claiming he wanted someone with more power, someone who could take him places. The leak shifted the narrative once again, with some fans turning their anger away from Jackie and toward the man they now saw as the true villain of the story. Others, however, argued that the audio didn't absolve Jackie of her betrayal, insisting that she still had a choice and had made the wrong one. The production team capitalized on the renewed buzz, teasing a reunion special where all the cast members would sit down together to hash out the drama once and for all. Promos promised truths revealed and bonds tested, sending fans into a frenzy of speculation about what could possibly happen next behind the scenes. Though the stakes felt higher than ever, Chantel wrestled with whether to attend the reunion, knowing it would mean facing Jackie again in front of the world. Friends close to her revealed that she was torn, wanting to reclaim her narrative but also fearing that reopening the wound would be too much to bear. Jackie, meanwhile, prepared for the reunion like a battle, determined to show the world that she was more than the mistakes she had made. She rehearsed her talking points, consulted with her team, and even met privately with Ty in hopes of finding some kind of support in what she knew would be the most scrutinized appearance of her life. As the day of the reunion approached, tension rippled through the cast. Brandy, never one to shy away from drama, teased in interviews that she was ready to spill everything, while Ty hinted that fans would finally see the full picture. The anticipation reached a fever pitch, with viewers counting down the hours until this special aired. What a whirlwind, right? From shocking betrayals to explosive confrontations, this entire situation between Chantel and Jackie has left everyone divided and talking. Some fans are convinced Chantel should never forgive her, while others believe Jackie's apology was genuine and deserves a second chance. And then there's the leaked audio that flipped the whole narrative on its head, leaving us all wondering, who's really to blame in this messy love triangle? But here's what we want to know from you. Whose side are you on? Do you think Chantel was right to cut ties completely? Or should she consider rebuilding that broken trust? And what about Jackie? Can she ever come back from this? Or is her reputation officially done? Drop your thoughts in the comments because we're reading every single one of them. Don't forget to hit that like button if you're as hooked on this drama as we are. And make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss the next twist in this unbelievable saga. Trust us, with everything that's still bubbling beneath the surface, you won't want to miss what happens next.